Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck. And today we are going through all our must-add players after Week 11. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to go, and we're each going to pick our top player at a position, and then we're going to give our number one pick from that spot. And then if any of us pick the same guy, then we're going to do a tiebreaker, and then we'll pick someone else. And it's not that complicated, I promise. You will figure it out as we go. Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com if you have trivia questions. If you have fantasy courts you want us to resolve. If you have other celebrations or any other nonsense we talk about in the show, email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram and TikTok at ringerfantasyfootball. We're going to go through the waiver picks in a moment, but more importantly, the biggest news of the season, the story of the year, if you will. Tommy DeVito is back in my life personally. I'm biased. I think that this is maybe the story of the season. Maybe the story of the year in the United States of America. DK, do you care about this at all?
Definitely not.
No? Okay.
I care. No, I don't really care that much, to be honest. This was always like a really bad team. And now they're just acknowledging publicly that we know we're really bad and we're not going to try anymore.
And so they're not starting Drew Lock because he basically has a lot of play-based incentives that he can earn.
I think that was someone threw that out there. They were like deeply wrong. I think that Drew Lock has incentives in his contract. I think they're not playing Drew Lock because he sucks. And
there's no way he's worse than Tommy Cutlets.
No, I think so. He played a little bit in the Eagles game, and it was about as bad as any quarterback's been all year. Number one.
Okay. I think also, don't you want to lose? Like you want to put in the guy that literally made you not able to draft Jaden Daniels or Drake May last year, which was Tommy Cutlets. You're doing that again.
I feel like this is like tempting fate.
Have you not learned from last year? If Drew Lock is worse, shouldn't you play Drew Lock?
There's an art to the tank. You have to do it without totally poisoning your culture. And so Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock, let's be real, are probably equally bad in terms of how likely they are to help the Giants win a game. But Tommy DeVito, I think you can sell tickets and you can sell your fans. You can sell tickets because the fans like Tommy DeVito more than they like freaking Drew Lock. I think you can sell your players on it because they won 3 games with him last year. And so you don't want players like Dexter Lawrence and like all the defenders and stuff to just openly quit on the team.
I thought you do want that though. Isn't that what you want?
No, you don't want them to quit.
You have to thread the needle.
You want to lose, but you don't want people to quit.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to thread. It's true though. You do have to thread the needle. It's not the NBA. You can't just go out there and get your points.
It's the ever elusive soft landing, Craig, of tanking.
Sure. I just can't wait that the guy who literally ruined their chances of getting a franchise-changing quarterback last year is now starting again.
He's gonna win him a couple games.
I don't know. He sucks. I don't think he will. I think it's going to be I actually think that he's going to play so poorly that they're going to.
Why do you think he's worse this year compared to last year?
I think that.
Because the Giants' defense might be better this year.
Yeah, no, I think Giants' defense is good. DeVito is not. I think that I don't know. I think this happens a lot with backup quarterbacks. They come out for a game or two, and then it's like a batter in baseball. It's like, or I guess more accurately, like a pitcher in baseball, where like you see him a third or fourth time. If you don't have the juice, like eventually they figure it out. It's like I don't think Tommy DeVito exactly is going to have a bunch of counter punches.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Giants are going to suck. This is great though. I'm sure. Here's the thing. Are you guys saying Tommy DeVito is such a world-destroying force the Giants will be unable to help themselves from winning game after game with him? He sucks. This is great. We're going to have fun. We'll do the little emojis back with the A, like the A emojis back.
This is so funny. Good. This is happening again. This is hilarious.
No, it's not. He's going to lose. It's fun. It's a fun way to lose. You know what? Drew Lock is a depressing way to lose. Tommy DeVito, there's culture. And the Giants are going to lose and get a quarterback.
There's culture. I feel bad for Drew Lock.
Why?
There was a moment in time when Drew Lock thought he was going to the Giants to be like competing for the starting job. Now he's just not even playing over.
He did compete for the starting job, and he lost to Tommy DeVito.
Also, if
Tommy DeVito's been on the freaking practice squad, he's not even on the roster.
Well, you can commute to work though.
If Tommy DeVito is as bad as Heifetz says he's going to be, then we probably will see Drew Lock still at some point.
I actually think the coaching staff dislikes Drew Lock on like a personal level. I feel like that's really what's going on here, to be totally honest. So
on a deeply personal level.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. But yeah, so Daniel Jones, it's the end of the Daniel Jones experiment. And again, if people are wondering what's going on, it's basically if they're going to cut him at the end of the season, I'm almost positive. And if they cut Daniel Jones, it's $20-ish million. And if he gets hurt though, it would be like $45 million.
Yeah.
So they're benching him. It's like what the Broncos did to Russ last year or what the Raiders did to Derek Carr a couple years ago. So RIP to Daniel Jones again. Thank God.
Which quarterback do you have your eye on right now, Heifetz, in college football?
It's tough. I try not. It's kind of like you don't want to get your hopes up for the number one pick because it's just you win one game and you can slide like 4 games in the rankings. I feel like right now Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in the draft. He's the most complicated player I can ever remember. Like the idea of like, there's the evaluation on the field, and then it's like his father is Deion Sanders and might want to coach your team. I don't know. I don't know if there's ever been a prospect that's more likely to get a coach fired for taking him than Shedeur Sanders. Like, what if Deion Sanders thinks he could do better than you? Like Matt Eberflus. Imagine if the Bears had Shedeur Sanders. Like imagine if Deion Sanders, you know what I mean? It's so easy to upend the whole locker room. So I would like Cam Ward. Yeah. I would like Cam Ward for Miami right now. And it's kind of like a rebound. I want something different. I'm not saying Cam Ward is the guy I want to be with forever, but I need something after 6 years of Daniel Jones. I need someone that's not so freaking safe and boring. I need a little zest in my life right now.
I was putting together a mock draft for the site, which will be up soon. Stay tuned. And I was trying to figure out like who the best match for the Giants is. Cam Ward, and I was like, is Cam Ward too similar to Daniel Jones? Because I think Ward is really dynamic. He can run around a little. He's got like big play potential, but he also will make a really errant throw time and time again. So I don't know. I was like, maybe this is too close. Maybe they need to go completely opposite and get like, I don't know, Carson Beck or something.
No. I veto Carson Beck to the New York Giants.
You should just not take a quarterback. You should sign a journeyman veteran or something and not take a quarterback.
What I really think is that more teams need to do what the Cardinals did with Josh Rosen. You don't want to take a Josh Rosen, but they took Josh Rosen and he sucked. And then it was bad. And then the next year they took Kyler Murray and they immediately threw Josh Rosen overboard.
Just keep taking quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that same year, the Giants took Daniel Jones in 2019, and they liked Justin Herbert more in 2019. And everyone thought Justin Herbert would leave Oregon and be in the 2019 draft. He went back to Oregon because he wanted to play a season with his brother at Oregon, who's a freshman. So then in 2020, the Giants could have taken Justin Herbert, and instead they took Andrew Thomas at left tackle because they had Daniel Jones. And I know it's a little revisionist history, but like, you know, it probably would have said to take two at that point. But I do wish they had taken two or hurt Justin Herbert and thrown Daniel Jones overboard. All that's to say, I know that this quarterback class isn't as good as the last one. I would like the Giants to take a quarterback this year. And if they're like, oh, well, this class isn't as good, cool. If he sucks, take another one in 2026. I don't care. Just keep taking him till you get the right guy. Throw him overboard. I'm fine. We don't have to just commit to whoever you take. It's like, just keep taking them. Anyway.
The ballad of the Giants. I just love it. Someday you'll get to root for them to win games.
It is. The Giants had one competitive season in the last 8 years, and it absolutely fucked them. It would have been better to have zero competitive seasons in the last 8 years.
It's so great.
Anyway, God, I can't believe I'm mad now. All right.
More than enough time on the Giants we just spent.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Waivers this week. So 6 teams are on bye. So the Bills, the Bengals, Falcons, Saints, Jets, Jaguars are all on bye. Thank God the Jets aren't playing football this week, though. So we could just get right into it. Probably are a lot. I think more than any week, there probably are a lot of like, I have to get someone from waivers and pop them in my lineup this week. DK, running back. Who is your number one plug and play running back for after week 11?
This is actually like one of the worst weeks for running backs I can remember. I don't think there's any obvious plug and play guy. If you're going to play anyone this week, man, I guess it would be Roschon Johnson for the Bears because he's going to get, according to what we saw this last week, he's going to get their goal line carries. And I'm just like hoping for a touchdown. And that's basically how I'm getting through the week. Everybody else, to me, there's like a lot of questions about usage and where they're going to be on the depth chart, how much they're going to be in the game at all. And honestly, like I don't feel great about Roschon Johnson either, but I'm going to go with Roschon Johnson.
I agree that Roschon would be the choice. My issue, and I agree with you. I think this is the worst week at running back to play a running back that we've had on the show in maybe 3 or 4 years. My issue with Roschon is that the Bears are playing the Vikings this week, and the Vikings had the best run defense in the NFL. And for context, like Tony Pollard this week against the Vikings had 9 carries for 15 yards. So honestly, I have to go with like Gus Edwards for the Chargers. Could the same logic? It's like you just sit there and pray that Gus Edwards gets a goal line carry. It's not fun or sexy, but I don't know. This is a horrific week if you need production.
Yeah, the only other person that I feel any conviction on is Trey Benson. The Cardinals are playing the Seahawks this week, and he's like the backup and barely gets any time unless it's a blowout. I'd almost rather just choose Benson and tell you to sit him and like just I think him as a stash provides more value than picking up anybody that you can plug in this week. I
think the real answer is you need to play 2 running backs in your flex. If you need a flex this week, it needs to be a receiver because the running backs are the worst options I can remember. Craig, who is your pathetic first running back option?
I think it's Gus Edwards, who I actually think It kind of sucks because J.K. Dobbins has been such an amazing story. He basically was like, I want to win comeback player of the year. And with that said, I actually just think Gus Edwards looked better than him since Gus Edwards has come back. His yards per carry is way better. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry. And I just think he's been generally more effective. That touchdown at the end of the game was awesome. And I have Dobbins on my fantasy team and he's like, great. But I do think that they probably want to keep J.K. Dobbins healthy. And I think this the offense does want to be a split. And, the Chargers are a good team this year. They run the ball a lot. It's boring, whatever. But the Hassan Haskins getting goal line carries on Sunday night really pissed me off. Michigan man. But yeah, I guess I'll go with Gus Edwards.
The way that the Chargers were using the running back rotation was weird this week because Gus came in. I think he was the one who got the first carry among the running backs. He was sort of the early down guy. And then it was like, I guess Dobbins is going to be sort of the third down, passing downs type player. And then Haskins gets in at the goal line. Again,
it's funny because at the start of the season, everything was reversed,
up.
Right? It was like Gus Edwards was getting more carries to start the season, but Dobbins was more effective. And now it's the opposite where Gus is getting less carries, but actually looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
The only thing that would change any of this, we're recording this Monday afternoon. It's 4:00 Eastern. If anything happens tonight to Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce has missed a month, but Dameon Pierce is the backup in Houston, and there's a weird hierarchy there. But basically, I do think that if anything happened to Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce seems healthy now, and that he could be the guy. But this is the worst. Even the stashes we always talk about, Braylon Allen for the Jets is on bye. Tyler Algier for the Falcons is on bye. None of these guys are playing. It's actually really bad. So yeah, take a receiver if you really need one this week. And do I even want to say? I don't want to jinx anything. I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm not going to bring up what I was thinking.
All right,
let's do Gus Edwards showdown time.
It is the Gus Edwards Gus Bus showdown time.
Okay, this is a fun one.
Great gong.
So Jarrett, how many people in America are named Wade Jones?
Ooh, great question. A lot of Joneses in the world.
How many Wades?
America, not the world.
Okay, in the world. Sorry, in America.
Third time's the charm.
Can I confuse myself? Wade. Of course.
His name? Of course.
Of course.
Wade Jones.
Oh my God. Okay.
Who that is? All right. You guys ready?
I'm technically not even sure there's one person named Wade Jones.
I was going to say 0.
Do we have proof?
All right. 3, 2, 1. 5,000.
Okay. So wide range here. Craig said 18.
Yeah.
I said 200.
I said 5,000.
Oh shit.
18 okay. Jones? There's got to be a million
Jones.
people in America with the last name Jones, right?
I don't know. We'll see how popular the name Wade is.
The answer is 858.
All right, so I was closer than you were.
Fuck. What'd you say, 18?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I came in last. All right.
Jones is according to mynamestats.com, Jones is ranked as the 5th most popular family name in the U.S. Estimated population of 1.5 million people with the last
I almost
name
nailed
Jones.
that.
I feel like Heifetz now because Heifetz reads these questions and he makes his guesses beforehand. So then when you and I, DK, give our guesses, he can immediately comment on how stupid they sound because he knows what the answer is.
I don't know what the answer is.
You do. You make the guess.
Forget.
You forget? Please, you don't forget anything.
I did this 12 hours ago.
I forget.
I don't know. You just listed the last 18 NFC East champions. I don't think
that was my life.
Yeah.
Well, he got last.
No, I know, but I feel like he because he has that answer in the back of his head, he can comment on how if he can kind of tell which way our guesses are leaning and how.
You think that if I knew the answer was 858, I would have made fun of DK saying 200?
What? You made fun of me for saying 18 because you knew it was far off. Is my point.
No, they put the answer in white, so I didn't see the answer. I see the answer sometimes. That's why I have to do it. But most of the time, people do it if you put the text in white. Then you can just move it over.
So you didn't know the answer to this one?
No.
Okay.
All right. So does this mean, even though I didn't choose Gus Bus, should I just take Gus Bus as our number one choice?
Well, no. Take who you want.
This is your journey, man.
The only other players that I wanted to shout out here real quick before we get to the next position is Zamir White, Amir Abdullah, and Dylan Laub for the Raiders. Alexander Madison went out from this last game, and Zamir White also left the game, and both of them didn't come back. I believe Madison had an ankle injury. Zamir White had a quad injury. I don't think anyone's really going to be a great option in this Raiders offense, but I just want to throw that out there. That's an option if you're really desperate. If
Can I
Madison
just shout out
misses
Samir
time,
White's fantasy points in the last month? 9, 10, negative 1, 13. Oh, wait, no, that's his yardage. 9, 10, negative 1, and 13. And then the people who could replace him, like I looked at this too, but my issue with Amir Abdullah.
Maybe don't pick a Raiders guy. Yeah,
the Raiders are the worst rushing offense maybe in our entire lives. And Amir Abdullah has not had 200 rushing yards in a season since 2017. And then Dylan Laube has 1 carry on the season. And so I think that I would rather like literally, if I'm going to lose, I can't have it with a Raider in my lineup this week.
That's fair. All right, I'm going to choose Trey Benson. I think he's a better pickup. Short and long term.
All right, I'll go Gus.
And then I have to pick someone else. Jeez. I'll take Roschon Johnson just because I'm going to Costanza myself because I felt so strongly against him against Minnesota that maybe it'll make sense. But no, it's the answer is find 2 running backs and play a receiver in your flex. Like that's the answer.
If you want to follow the Sean Payton roller coaster and Audric Estime is available, you should probably grab him and start him.
Honestly, yeah, probably.
They're also playing the Raiders, so maybe they're going to be up by a lot and like use him more. He was actually the running back on the second drive. It was just a 3 and out, and then Williams came in the next drive and they scored a touchdown. So there like still is a chance that Estime is much more involved in this offense than it seemed.
Honestly, hoping the Broncos blow out the Raiders and playing Jaleel McLaughlin for like a single drive makes more sense than any of these. All right, let's go to receiver where there's way more options. I'll just start this by saying if Christian Watson's available, he had 150 yards, and I think you should add Christian Watson. Like that's obvious, right?
We're not including him. He's 44% rostered.
All right, we can include Christian Watson. Are we including Jerry Jeudy, who had an advert? Like I hate him, but he also was like one of the 5 best receivers this week.
I know Judy's like, even more rostered. Judy's rostered in over half 50. Of leagues.
Yeah.
Would you take Jeudy or
exclude
Watson?
Jeudy? We're including Christian Watson. I think Elijah Moore remains a good pickup.
Oh, certainly. 8% rostered.
Yeah. So I think to me, the 2 obvious big names in this year or this week's receiver one is Elijah Moore for the Browns and Christian Watson for the Packers. Those are the 2 guys. I'm going to lean Elijah Moore. I think he's getting more consistent looks.
I would lean Watson. If you look at the last 3 games for the Packers, Watson leads the team in targets. I still think he is their best big play threat. He has been banged up the entire season. He got hurt week 1, came back, and has been working his way back from a high ankle sprain.
Banged up his whole career, bud.
Yes. But when my point is when he's healthy and on the field, I still think he is like the best big play threat on the Packers. They have not been using Jaden Reed enough or a lot lately. 22% target share for Christian Watson over the last 3 games, and he's been pretty good. He's getting better and better.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good call. Wicks only played Dontavian Wicks only played 13 snaps this last game.
Yeah, I maintain that Watson's good. He's just got the injury bug.
I would take Christian Watson here too.
All right.
Okay. All right. DK, join in on this. It's the Christian Watson. So sad that he's on waivers after where I thought he was going to be.
I know, it's tough.
Showdown time.
It's from Rachel.
Rach. We were on a break.
Ross was right about that.
Okay, let's not get into this.
How many Smirnoff Classic vodka flavors are there?
Whoa.
Smirnoff Classic vodka?
Wait, how many? We're not talking about Smirnoff Ice.
I think she meant the
Smirnoff, the vodka,
the
right?
vodka
not Smirnoff Ice
flavors.
Okay, how many vodka flavors have Smirnoff?
God, I'm not a vodka drinker. I have no fucking idea.
Ooh.
You want to know what I said?
You said the word original, right? Like the original flavors?
Smirnoff Classic vodka flavors.
Oh, Smirnoff Classic vodka flavors.
I called it Smirnoff. I clearly don't know the answer to this.
Smoking a pancake?
Bong and a blitz?
Bong and a blitz. Okay. Got an answer in my head.
3, 2, 1. I said
18.
10.
DK,
18,
you're hesitating. You're waiting for Craig and I.
That's absolutely not true. I think I said it first, in fact. Check the tape.
Actually, it's the opposite.
Yeah. I said 40. Craig said 18.
I'm being genuine. I feel like I said it before either of you said anything. So
what was your answer?
10.
The answer is 17.
Craig got it.
I know my vodka, baby. My first drink was
really?
And it wasn't Smirnoff. It was Pineapple Sky, but it was vodka.
So there's 17 flavors of Smirnoff vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
I wonder how many we could name.
Lemon.
Raspberry.
Citrus. Raspberry. That's just First one.
Yeah.
Cherry?
Dude, the one
Raspberries.
we drank in college was called Burnett's, and there were like 50 flavors of Burnett's.
Burnett's
and they were
is like
all awful.
plastic handled cheap stuff.
Yes, the plastic handled cheap
Raspberry
stuff.
So
Smirnoff,
you know
I feel
it's
like
good.
is the most famous, to be honest. Could be wrong
Is it
about
raspberry? Oh, I don't know.
that. I feel like that was kind of like, that was the one.
It was Jackie's and I's first drink was a horrible flavor of Burnett's, and it like poisoned the beginning of our.
That was your
relationship in
first drink
college.
ever each?
No, but like so basically we were going to some party, and I was like, I was like, oh, I could get us liquor, and she was like, okay, and so like I asked an older person on campus to get me a bottle of vodka, but beggars can't be choosers, and so I think to mess with me as a bit, the senior I asked got me a bottle of maple syrup Burnett's.
Whoa.
Ugh.
That is.
But like they're doing you a favor, so like, what do you and it's like September of freshman year, so what are you gonna
Like,
do? Call
really?
them out on it? And Jackie told me that the next day she was at the gym and she was like, sweat pouring out of her, like she smelled like maple vodka at the like maple syrup at the gym, and she didn't eat maple syrup for 6 years.
Damn. That guy really big timed you. He's like, here you go,
He did.
buddy.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. That's a good bit.
And I like walking away and I look and I'm like, oh shit. Anyway,
Wow.
All right, so Craig gets Watson.
no,
Heifetz,
yeah. Craig gets Christian Watson.
I said 10. What did you say?
I said 18.
I lost. I said 40.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Elijah Moore.
I think Elijah Moore's a really good one. I hate Jerry Jeudy, and the funny thing about Jerry Jeudy having, he had 4 catches, 150 yards. Or no, so that was Watson had 4 catches, 150 yards. The funny thing about Jeudy having,
Judy had 142 yards and a touchdown.
yeah, but he had 6 for 142 and a touchdown, and the touchdown was 89 yards, and it was Jameis like breaking open a play and and the Saints defender totally misplayed it. And if you take away the 89 yards, 5 for like 60 yards is exactly what Jerry Jeudy does every week.
Yeah.
And it just happened that he got this one weird broken play, long touchdowns. The longest plays of Jameis's career. It was a fluke. And I actually kind of like Elijah Moore more with Jameis throwing. So I like that pick by DK a lot. I hate Jerry Jeudy still.
Dude, Jameis is absolutely yucking the ball. He's throwing it 44 times a game, which is like easily the league's lead. And if you look at just the targets that the 3 wide receivers on the Browns are seeing, Jeudy, Moore, and Tillman, Jerry Jeudy's averaging 10 targets a game, which is 3rd in the NFL with Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Elijah
Wow.
Moore is
Insane.
averaging a little over 9, which is 5th in the NFL, and Cedric Tillman is averaging 9 as well, which is 6th in the NFL. So he literally has 3 wide receivers all in the top 6 in targets.
He's
Man.
turned this into like 2019 when Chris Godwin and Mike Evans were
Yes.
the
Yeah, the
top 5
Bucks.
receivers. Yeah.
And even David Njoku's averaging almost 8 targets a game, which is 3rd overall at tight end.
So all the Browns are viable. Like that's the
Yes.
thing. It's like rising ships. It's like just Jameis. Yeah. So Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy are totally.
And then
viable
there's
throughout there.
Kadarius Toney, who had 1 carry for -7 yards.
He's
I love
my least
Toney
favorite
so much.
player.
Get him back on
Of
the
my
Chiefs.
life.
The best story in the NFL right now. Just Kadarius Toney. I got to follow it.
My pick will be. So it's funny, first of all, that we're not going to take Marquez Valdez-Scantling for the 3rd week in a row because
Absolutely
Valdez-Scantling's on
Correct.
bye this week,
Yeah.
and yet this was one of the two best 2-week stretches of Valdez-Scantling's career. He's had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games, and he's scored 2 touchdowns in 2 straight weeks. Like one other time in his entire career. He's 30 years old.
But when Nick Westbrook-Akine does it, it's not cool.
Well, I was going to say, that's the other guy where I'm kind of like, part of me is like, should I just stop swimming up current and just take Nick Westbrook-Akine?
No,
5
because as soon
touchdowns
as you
last
put him
6
in your
games.
lineup, he's going to get 0 targets.
I know, that's the thing. But then this week he had a 98-yard touchdown, and I'm like, that could have been my 98-yard touchdown. And instead, I'm going to take him this week, and he's going to do nothing because he's Nick Westbrook-Akine, and he's the most average receiver in the NFL who scores a touchdown every week.
I think,
No, I'm not doing it.
Go Quentin Johnston.
No, I
I
don't
think
want.
there's some concern that Lad McConkey
I
could miss a
thought your
couple
whole
games.
thing was that you liked Quentin Johnston's volatility. That those are the type of people you
I
wanted to
want
go
Alec
after.
Pierce. I'm going to take Alec
You'd
Pierce.
rather have MVS than Quentin Johnston. They're the same player.
That's
I'm
nuts.
going to take Alec Pierce for the Colts. I also like AD Mitchell for the Colts, but he needs to be a little more consistent.
He
But
ran
Alec
5
Pierce-
routes last week, but
Sorry. Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why I'm not.
AD
that's why I'm
Mitchell
not.
scares me. I like AD Mitchell, actually.
Every play he has is great. He just
I
has
do
one
agree with
play
that.
a game.
He's like, you can tell he's like the type of guys like the eye test is like, this guy's just more athletic than everyone else.
Totally.
It's like
But
George
he
Pickens.
literally only ran 5 routes this last week. They just, man,
for
they just
AD
don't trust
Mitchell.
him yet.
But Alec
Yes.
Pierce, that's AD
Yeah.
Mitchell. But for Alec
Especially
Pierce,
with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
that's the thing. 3 catches, 74 yards this week. He when the game was on the line, Richardson went to Alec Pierce up the sideline. I still think, again, Alec Pierce is as likely as anybody on waivers not named Marquez Valdez-Scantling or Nick Westbrook-Ikhine to have a 98-yard touchdown. So I'll take Alec Pierce.
It's so hard.
And they're playing the Lions this week, so that's gonna garbage time, shootout, whatever it ends up being.
I still feel like it's scary to start any Colts receivers just because of what we saw early. Like, remember earlier in the season, Josh Downs was unusable when Richardson was in the lineup. I didn't start him in my leagues last week and obviously regretted that. But like, yeah, it's still just a scary proposition.
Add a player off of waivers and put them in your lineup, you will be afraid.
True.
Like, it's fear is the mind killer.
Good point.
All right. Tight ends. Awful week for tight ends. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox for Buffalo. Mike Gesicki for the Bengals. Kyle Pitts for the Falcons. Taysom Hill for the Saints. And Evan Ingram for the Jaguars are all on bye this week. Not to mention that George Kittle was like a fairly late scratch on Sunday. So not a great week at tight end. It's pretty brutal. DK.
Oh, I kind of think it's a good week. I feel like there's some good options this week.
No, what I'm saying, I'm starting tight ends. Like a third of your league needs a tight end this week to start. Like a third of your league.
This could be competitive on the old waiver wire.
Taysom Hill, needless to say, if he's available, you should get him, but the Saints are on bye. But obviously Taysom Hill, 40 points this week, is like the number one guy. We'll put him to the side. He's not even playing this week, and he's so obvious. If Taysom's available, go get him.
So, okay, here's the three guys that I think are the best tight end ads on the waivers this week. Hunter Henry, last 6 games, 21% target rate. Jonnu Smith, last 6 games, 22% target rate.
And they're not teammates anymore. Hunter Henry's still on the Patriots. Jonnu Smith is now on the Dolphins.
And then Will Dissly, over the last month, has a 20% target rate. So I think all three of these guys, you could plug them into your lineup and feel decently good about it. There's no can't miss tight ends period in the NFL other than Brock Bowers and Kittle when he's healthy. But of those three, I would probably go Hunter Henry. I guess is just the safer option. The targets his last 6 games, 9, 4, 8, 6, 9, 5.
You take him over
getting
Jonnu
a good
Smith?
amount of targets. I think so. They're very close. Both of these guys are very close. Jonnu Smith is out targeting what's his face Waddle over the last 6 weeks.
He's leaving Waddle
let me tell
in
you,
the
buddy.
dust.
Not only is he out targeting him, Jonnu Smith had more points last week than Waddle had in the last 5.
That's tough.
Jonnu Smith is honestly, he's passing Tyreek Hill in fantasy points since Tua came back.
Jonnu Smith is the 5th best tight end in fantasy since week 6.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Jonnu Smith, especially because the Dolphins are playing the Patriots this week, and I don't really believe in the Patriots defense.
I didn't have a strong conviction, but you guys convinced me. I like Jonnu Smith too.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's Jonnu Smith. I will say after that, Hunter Henry, if he's available, is perfectly solid. I agree with you too on Will Dissly. I mean, after watching the Chargers run 4 verts out of 3 tight end sets, and Herbert just absolutely ripping balls up the hash mark to Will Dissly, I'm like, yep, 4 catches, 80 yards. Since week 7, Will Dissly is top 10 among all tight ends in catches. It's Travis Kelce and Brock Bowers, and then Cade Otton, who replaced freaking Mike Evans. And you got David Njoku, who you were talking about before, with the Jameis Winston Browns. Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Evan Ingram. And then it's Will Dissly. So I think Will Dissly's he's the guy that I'm most confident is available in your league. That's totally acceptable as a streamer for the rest of the season.
And I would also add, you can't go wrong with Zach Ertz, who's a used car that just racks up 300,000 miles and never breaks down. 34 years old. He's been a top 12 tight end the last month. Another 50 yards and a touchdown last week. Solid.
And if you're in a deeper league and all these guys are taken, although I bet Jonnu Smith might be available. I'm sure Will Dissly's available. But I do think there's a lot of people who need tight ends this week. The last one I'll say is Cole Kmet for the Bears, who didn't really do anything, but I just think the Bears offense is better. The Vikings give it passing. I think Cole Kmet, he can do a lot worse.
And they played him more often than Waldron was sort of rotating him more. And I think in this last week, he played 95% of the snaps, ran around a whole bunch of times.
So the tight end's not that bad.
So we're doing the Jonnu Smith, right?
Jonnu Smith showdown time.
It is the Jonnu Smith showdown time.
This one's from Preston. Oh, I jumped the gun on the gong.
You jumped the gong.
Kai, play the gong again. Hell yeah. I love that gong. Anyway, this one's from Preston.
Preston, welcome to the Steelers.
In Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah.
This amazing scene where Happy Gilmore fights Bob Barker. What did I say? Bob Barker on the golf course. How many punches does Bob Barker land on Happy?
Oh, great question.
I'm trying to remember the scene because he goes jab, jab, and then he grabs him by the shirt, and then he
Okay, you gotta stop counting.
Why?
Do kicks count? Doesn't he kick him when he's down?
Yeah, he does.
I believe this person actually separated the kicks from the punches.
You had enough?
Now you've had enough.
Bitch. God. Oh, that's the best.
All right. I don't know the answer to this, and I have my answer now.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. 22.
16.
Okay. I went 12, 16, and 22.
I almost
answer
guessed
is-
18 for the third straight question. I kind of wanted to
The
do
answer
that.
is 16.
Let's
Damn it.
go.
God damn it.
Damn it, Craig, did you get all 3?
No, I had 2 for 3.
Ugh.
But I was literally perfect on the third question and 1 off on question 2.
So every answer
So
should be
16?
18 or 700. He did land 1 kick.
I've seen that
It's
movie
just
too
like
many
the
times.
jabs.
to
He's
get
got
that.
him, but he's jabbing him.
Jab.
There's that one moment where he goes like 7 straight.
Because that's why I went like over 20, because I was like the camera angle. He really hits 5 from each camera angle. It's like boom, boom, boom.
Happy's like he's a hockey fighter. He's not like he's not like protecting it with his gloves and stuff like that. He's just, he's a loose cannon.
All right, Jonnu, welcome to the squad. Week 12. Let's ride. Fuck Jalen Waddle.
All right, I'm gonna go with Hunter Henry for the Patriots.
I'll take Will Dissly. And then again, if you can't get Will Dissly, I think Cole Kmet's fine. And obviously, if Taysom Hill's there, go get Taysom Hill. All right, quarterbacks. This one's super easy. Anthony Richardson, playing the Lions this week. If he's available, please go get him. 2 rushing touchdowns, 28 points, top 3 quarterback. I think that he's going to be somewhere between how bad he was and how good we thought he'd be in the preseason for the rest of the season. Those are the kind of guys that can like flip a season. So like if you're making the playoff push, like go get Anthony Richardson. If you need to like any
The Bo Nix disrespect.
Bo Nix is way more rostered than Anthony Richardson.
Well, that might be true.
Bo Nix is not available in competitive
They are
leagues.
1% difference in rostership.
On what platform?
Yahoo.
Yeah, but like I think the difference is
Yeah,
no, but
but-
it matters.
Well, wait. I'm actually
This
right.
is how
I'm right.
this is how you get good at rhetoric.
Yeah.
Move the goalposts.
No, I'm right. And I'm on ESPN. Bo Nix is 70% and Richardson's 43.
Okay.
So
What
I'm
about
sure,
Yahoo?
What about Yahoo?
but I think that the way you look at it is like sometimes there's a certain portion of leagues that are like ghost ships. Richardson's been cut to that level, and Nix has risen. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's fine. That's fair. Just throwing it out there. Bo Nix, the QB 9 on the season.
If Bo Nix is available, yes, Bo Nix as well.
Playing the Raiders?
Yeah.
What are you saying, Craig? You shit-eating grin.
Jeez. It's a little defensive there.
I'm just saying, yes, Bo Nix if he's available for sure.
I just-
Doth protest
It was
too
just
much.
funny that you were like, no, they're not close at all. And I was like, they're literally next to each other.
all right,
You're
well,
like,
fuck off. Yeah, all right, fine. That sucked. Fine, that sucked.
I think it's more like people have not believed in Bo Nix all season. Now they're finally starting to believe.
Yeah, I mean,
I also think Drake
Bo Nix
May is a
there.
good option.
I maintain that I think Bo Nix has been added earlier, but Richardson
That's fine.
is
Maybe he has in some leagues.
way too many people cut Richardson. Go get Richardson. And then also Caleb Williams was also cut by too many people. And again, I think that's where rostership is kind of deceiving because sometimes it dips to like 50, but actually a lot of people cut him. Caleb Williams, if he's available, he's running more than ever. I think Caleb Williams for the rest of the season will be like a pretty solid quarterback. Drake May against the Dolphins. I think Drake May is also, again, I think he played really well against the Rams, actually. Obviously, the game ended with him throwing an interception. But
It's kind of like the story of the season so far. It's like he plays really well and then he makes a
It's
mistake.
a tough
perfect,
pick.
though. That's
Yeah.
exactly
Pick.
what you want.
Yeah, actually it's true.
Like progress and then ending in a loss. That's awesome.
And then higher in the draft. Yeah.
That's what the Giants are going to do with Tommy DeVito. You wanted
But
to
the
develop.
Giants they were the opposite last year. It was no progress and it ended with a win.
Yeah. That sucked. That was awful.
Uh,
All right. Defenses. I think this is where you also want to start looking at like when like your league, if you're going to pace for a first round bye, like start looking at week 16 and 17 and then know your schedule. And then if you're like in a dogfight and you need to like win the next 3 weeks, just focus on the next 3 weeks or whatever. If you're going to make the first round of the playoffs, like whatever, start looking at those weeks. Some defenses want to shout out for this week. The Commanders defense versus Dallas, the Dan Quinn revenge game. I don't think the Commanders defense is awesome. I do think the Commanders defense is well situated against Cooper Rush and the Cowboys and then Will Levis and the Titans back-to-back weeks. There's just like a lot of upside for like turnovers, pick sixes. Again, we'll see how Cooper Rush plays on Monday Night Football. We haven't seen that yet. 45 yards against the Eagles. That's not good. I also want to shout out the Tampa defense, which I don't think is great, but they're playing Bryce Young and the Panthers. They play the Giants and Tommy DeVito this week, then Bryce Young and the Panthers. Those are the next 2 games for the Bucs. That is two pretty tasty matchups for the Bucs and a Todd Bowles defense to face Tommy DeVito and then Bryce Young. And then it's the Raiders for Tampa Bay with Gardner Minshew, or maybe that'll be Desmond Ridder at that point. That's a pretty incredible 3-game stretch for the Bucs to take you to the rest of the fantasy regular season. And then also the Giants. The Giants defense is pretty solid. You could do worse than Baker Mayfield. And then it's Dallas with Cooper Rush. And then it's the Saints, which isn't ideal. But I think one of those 3 defenses is pretty solid, not just for this week, but for the next few. So Commanders, Bucs, or Giants. And then also, obviously, if anyone dropped the Chiefs defense because they were playing the Bills, I don't know if they did, but the Chiefs' next 2 games are Carolina and then the Raiders. That's pretty good. But Chiefs, if the Chiefs are available anywhere, I would go get them.
Yep.
Cool. I just want to hit a couple emails here. We talked about famous celebrations on the Sunday show. And Craig, you were talking about how you thought Steph Curry, the night. You want to give that spiel of like the night you thought was like the best celebration of your life?
I think it's the coolest signature celebration, not like a one-time thing, but a recurring thing of the 21st century.
So we got a lot of emails.
I'm obviously biased.
Yeah, no, deeply. As biased as humanly possible, to be honest. So we got a lot of emails about other ones, just throwing them out that we forgot about. The number one by far was everyone screaming at us. This Jose emailed me first, but like Ronaldo has an iconic celebration that frankly I didn't know about, but he just kind of jumps up and lands and yells "Si" in
Si?
Portuguese.
Is it Si?
Yeah. And he's like, I actually found a video from. He's like, it's not "Si," it's "Si," and it's like guttural. Like anyway, but he lands and it's actually really cool because then a lot of people.
I can recognize that.
Yeah, he does like the jump spin arm.
Yeah,
thing.
so that one
pretty badass.
Almost definitely globally the most famous one. The Aaron Rodgers discount double check.
Also, sorry, I wasn't saying Steph's is the most famous. I was saying I think it's the coolest, not the most famous. Actually, that is a distinction.
Hear that, Ronaldo?
I do think it's cooler. Sorry. Also, look, I don't watch a lot of soccer.
Joey emailed in to say the Aaron Rodgers discount double check, which led to like a literal State Farm campaign.
This is like but it's like a celebration. It's like the band that sells
mainstream.
Out.
And this is all Imagine Dragons.
Song
Once Steph does a NyQuil commercial, then we can talk about it getting ruined.
Yeah, right. Like he sold out. Let's be honest. It's not cool.
A lot of people emailed in about the LeBron with the silencer. What is that celebration? It looks cool, but like, what even is that when LeBron does the
stomp push down thing?
It's called silencer. Like, what does that even mean?
I don't know. He's like silencing the opponent by stuffing them down. It's not even close. It's not even top 5.
The Jimmy Graham goalpost dunks were cool. They literally outlawed it, which makes it cooler. I also learned Cam Newton did in fact popularize the dab. That's actually pretty crazy. I didn't realize that Cam Newton kind of was responsible for that in the wider discourse.
I definitely wasn't dabbing before Cam Newton started doing it.
And now you do it all the time.
Now I do it all the time.
Now we do it all the time. Can't stop dabbing. Westbrook rocking the baby. I wanted to Tebowing, which is not, I don't think, cool, but that was a huge thing.
What was the Tebow one?
Because he would get in the end zone and then like do the fist to his forehead, and then everyone did it.
I don't think that's like top.
That doesn't
10.
strike me as particularly cool.
Yeah, I agree. But no, I just want.
I'm sorry. I just
more
don't.
famous. The one I wanted to shout out the other one, Craig.
Yeah,
you were talking about how you're afraid that Steph Curry's going to do it too early and then lose a game.
Yeah,
that would be embarrassing.
Connor emailed in, and a couple other people did too, to remind us. This happened in golf this year. So it was a President's Cup, and it was South Korea, I believe, versus the United States. And so Siwoo Kim had a chip in the President's Cup. And then he like sprinted up and down the green, and he did the night 4 times, like directly to the cameras.
Oh, no.
And like he did the night. But it was on the 16th hole, and then they lost.
Wow.
That was
16th hole is very premature.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That was on the you know how we got the No Context Ringer Fantasy Football Twitter account.
Yeah.
He posted that picture of him of a golfer doing that night thing. I was not aware of that though. That's funny.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I want to shout out. This one's not famous or cool, but like, well, I love it. Is it Wes Matthews? Who's the NBA player that does when he makes the 3 the bow and arrow? I love that.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Was that Evan Turner?
I don't know.
I love the bow.
There's now I'm totally blanking on who does it. There's a football version of that too.
Yeah, a bunch of guys did it. I think it started with, well, maybe it was Jamal Murray. I'm sure there's ghosts screaming. Oh yeah, Wes Matthews. It was Wes Matthews, guy says. Okay. Thank you to the ghosts who were screaming. All right. Kai, get in here. You want to let's go pick your waiver team.
How'd last week go?
Terribly, but this is just what we do now. I
Wait,
just
who did you
lose
pick?
every week. I went with Craig, and we had Audric Estime, who dropped
brutal
Javonte
tournament
Williams for him in our Ringer League, so that hurts doubly. So
Just never trust old Sean Payton.
you're so right. Trivia total, real quick recap there. Craig is in the lead now. Just took it back from DK with 13. DK, you're right on his heels with 12, and Heifetz has 8. So he's hanging around.
Hanging around.
Last
Is that
week,
John Malkovich?
Yeah.
Is that from
Rounders. Hanging around.
Let's play some fucking cards.
Pay that man his money. He beats me.
I've seen
straight
Rounders
up.
once.
Dude.
It's an okay movie.
Little Freaks.
Yeah, a lot of
He
Oreos.
loses the whole
around us.
movie because he's
Oh
freaks
my
with the
God,
little Oreos.
Yeah, a lot of Oreos.
Little Freaks.
Good call.
See how far you can get without product placement the old-fashioned way.
Also, Kai just subtly under his breath saying, that's an all right movie. You can get fired for something like that at the Ringer.
Watch out. Kai.
Yeah, that's my
You
bad.
watch your
My bad.
mouth.
I thought no one noticed, so we're just going to keep moving on.
You watch your mouth when you're talking to me. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Last week, Heifetz had 9.5. He came in third. Craig, we came in second with 14, and DK had 18.7.
Let's
That Will
go.
Dissly touchdown, man. It hurt. It hurt.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as bad as the Dobbins touchdown hurt me last night, though. So moving on. This week, I'm going to go back to the well. I'm going to go with Craig.
Let's ride.
Heifetz, you had Roschon Johnson, Alec Pierce, and Will Dissly.
I
Craig
don't
went
want
with Gus
Roschon
Edwards.
Johnson, though.
Okay, can I have him? Like, can I add him to my team?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
Craig's team? Get a few extra points.
Yeah, just take him. I'll go 2 versus
appreciate it.
4.
Craig has then Roschon Johnson, Gus Edwards, Christian Watson, and Jonnu Smith. And then DK has Trey Benson, Elijah Moore, and Hunter Henry. Those are the
right.
squads. So
Great.
I'm not feeling great, honestly. I'm like a massive cold streak with these.
What is your record this year? Do you have that?
I don't, but I think I've won it feels like twice. It feels like I've won like twice. It's really, it's been a rough go.
We're going to make you eat so much weird shit when you're in LA next.
We're going to make you eat
It's just gonna be like
salads.
one big feast because I've lost.
We're
so
going to
many
feed you
points.
so
Caesar
well and get
salad.
some nutrients into your body. Get you some vitamins.
What are those? I don't know what those are. Not for me.
Someday you'll have to start eating.
Did you see they
It's like a
announced
young
there's going
Al
to be?
Michaels.
Oh yeah, no, me and Al, we're like this.
Just no nutrients.
no
in your
vegetables.
Should we
Those
take
are just
Kai to
steaks.
Toscana and just be like, give him the Al Michaels?
Calcified organs.
Kai, I'm surprised you don't have like scurvy at this point.
Me too, honestly. I'm surprised about a lot of things. But lost my train of thought, so we can move on.
You were
But,
going to say, did you see that they announced or something?
Oh yeah, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, they announced that there's going to be like 2 more Pop-Tarts at the Pop-Tart Bowl now.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
One
they're
of
going to
them's
have
like what was it? Not s'mores. It was like hot fudge sundae, I think. And then the other
Okay.
one's like a mystery flavor that's since
wild
been
berry,
like,
hot fudge, and a mystery flavor. And the MVP of the Pop-Tart Bowl will get to decide which mascot gets eaten from the
Oh.
toaster.
Wild berry hot fudge?
No, it's wild
Those
berry,
are 2
comma,
separate
hot
ones.
fudge.
So the player
Oh.
gets to decide who is sacrificed.
Yeah, and if you don't know what we're talking about, the Pop-Tarts had a bowl last year where they put the mascot in a toaster and he was like, eat me, and it was kind of crazy. And then they ate the mascot. All right, thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Carlos, for producing the episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Email us ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com for fantasy courts and also anything. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Lord.
Lord.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Heads will roll. I feel like I've been hearing that song a lot lately. It's like Recaught Fire for some reason.
Yeah, it's always, it's so good. It's always around.
How does that song go?
Off with heads.
It's in Project X too. Like the remix.
Dance till you're dead.
Yeah. DK or Heifetz, you probably know it's the 8-track remix, Heads Will Roll.
Oh.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh,
dun,
yeah,
dun,
yeah,
dun,
yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun, dun.
8-track
Yeah.
remix, yeah. 8-track remixed a bunch of songs from the 2010s that, yeah, they're definitely like deep inside of my brain.
I saw Yeahs at the Gorge one time. It was fun.
Oh,
What's the
really? That's
Gorge?
cool.
Yeah, the
Battle of
Gorge
the
is like
Gorge?
this huge. It's a big venue in Eastern Washington or Central Washington where literally overlooks this like huge river gorge. It's awesome.
So
It's like one of the coolest. It's one of the coolest venues. I've ever
Kirkland Red
seen.
Rocks.
Yeah, pretty much Kirkland Brand Red Rocks. I think the view is cooler. I've been to Red Rocks too. The view is cooler at the Gorge. I don't know if the acoustics are better, but
I've actually heard Red Rocks is a little overrated. I've never been, but I had 2 friends who just went recently for the first time to see Maggie Rogers, and they were like, the photos look awesome, but when you're actually there, like the downtown is just like right over there. Like you can just see a city. I think they kind of paint the picture as though you're like in the middle of the wilderness and you're actually just like right next to a metropolitan downtown.
I saw Willie Nelson at Red Rocks.
That's sick.
But I would say just in terms of like the coolness of venues, the Gorge is hard to beat, especially because like they play like right around sunset, and it's like this massive vista. It's just like it looks like you're looking at like a mini version of the Grand Canyon. It's crazy.
DK, this is super cool looking at this.
Yeah. I've been to a bunch of concerts there.
What they make the sphere look like.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. All right. This is pretty sick.
I used to go to like the Warp Tour every year there. Been to a bunch of concerts there. Wow. It's really cool.
That is
you a
awesome.
psychedelics guy back in the day?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
No, not for me.
Craig?
I pass on grass.
That's not
Wait, grass is not a psychedelic.
No, I'm just quoting Meet the Parents, which we just did on the rewatch. No, I'm too afraid of my mind. I've never done it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am too. I like to feel like I'm in somewhat control.
Yeah, for some reason I'm like, 15 beers, that sounds good, but no mushrooms.
It's honestly like same with me.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it like makes music better and everything, I'm guessing, but
I'm more afraid of the devil I don't know.
I keep thinking about Heifetz's there's 2 wolves inside of you and one of them is a dumbass.
Every kid in college. Yeah. One of them's an idiot.
There are 2 wolves. One's an idiot. Yeah.
That's just
Don't
good.
feed that one.
If we could play us out with Heads Will Roll, that will really like bring up the energy of this pod. If anyone's on a run.
Yeah,
sing it. Yeah, recreate it.
I wanted to play it. I already recreated it.
Oh, okay.
Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. Project X had so many bangers. There's a little rewatchables category called the Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness Award for Best Needle Drop.
Yeah, that was that was like, I felt very represented when you did that.
Yeah, it's like the only like reference to anything in the 21st century in a rewatchables category. It's great.
I kind of want to see this. I kind of want to go to this Gorge now, this concert venue. This sounds
insane. Let's do it. Yeah.
Red Rocks.
We should go as a team.
I would do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we should go see. We should see if if a Tom Club ever does a little concert
Maybe
there.
Mariah Carey
Or the yes. Red Rocks. It's funny. I saw this video. I don't know how to. Who's that sad guy with the guitar? Who's Stick Season? Noah Kahan. I don't know how to say his name.
Noah Khan.
Noah Khan. Okay. Well, what's the 2 A's for? But sorry, I'm just too wounded from all the times I've been corrected.
Isn't there an H in the middle also?
Yeah. But anyway, Noah Khan, there's a funny video of him playing Red Rocks and he's like an hour late going on the set. And then everyone's like, where is he? And then someone at the tippity top of Red Rocks zooms in. And I guess they have a driving range, like for the artist, like right next door. And just like not a driving range, like a 1 mat. And he's just like ripping drives into that Red Rocks Canyon. And he's like doing it for like 40 minutes, watching like a Pittsburgh Pirates game finish.
Yo, that's dope.
Yeah, that is pretty sick.
Also, just in general, like, why does this theater have a fucking driving range for artists? That's so cool.
Why wouldn't it? You're on a mountain. You're in a gorge.
That's awesome. I feel like I've never heard anything like that. Damn, I got to become we should do a live show there so I can rip drives.
Dude, that would be the dream. If we could do a live show at Red Rocks, that would. If anyone here at Red Rocks wants us to host the first ever podcast at Red Rocks, then yeah.
Is that right? I guess there probably has never been a podcast at Red Rocks.
Yet.
Still time.
I was just looking up the lineups of what they got at the Gorge this summer, but not seeing anything that speaks to me yet.
What would be your dream Gorge concert, TK?
Ooh, that's a good question. Man, I don't even know. God, I got to think about that. The top one? What would be yours? Let me think about it for a second.
Porter Robinson. Porter Robinson live is my favorite. Porter Robinson is my favorite artist to see live, and he's a great EDM artist. But the live concerts are insane. I've seen it at various levels of sobriety, and I've cried at every level of it.
Krongbin would be pretty fun.
I would love to see Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Good question though. I feel like I got to think about it longer.
Yeah, I feel like I hit you like a meteor.
Well, it's just
They're
hard to
taking it
choose
back.
who would be the one band you would choose to see in a concert. That's like
You're not on
it's a
trial
big ass
here.
question.
It's all right.
Yeah,
You can just pick somebody.
Yeah, people are gonna hold me to it. You know,
All
Bon
right,
Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
That's stunning.
They got so many
I'm
bangers.
stunned by that. I will say
Bon
it's funny that we did the 1 second song playlist. We should talk about this at some point. I've been trying to figure out what the most recognizable one is. Like, what's the most recognizable 1 second song? I think Bon Jovi has the most.
Oh,
like
interesting.
Bon
Which
Jovi has a
artist
ton.
has the most?
Disproportionate to how fit, because obviously Bon Jovi's very famous. He's not necessarily as famous as like ABBA or someone, but like there are so many Bon Jovi songs that you can get in 1 second. I think disproportionately to how famous he is too.
Yeah, he has a lot of like broad down the middle hits.
Yeah. Like literally just like shot through the heart. And then you just finish it. And you're like, oh yeah, that's
why I
Give
think
love a
I
bad
chose
name.
that because it's like number one, a little bit of nostalgia for me personally. You know, number two, they're just from a different time. And I feel like their show would be really fun. I've never been to a Bon Jovi show. I feel like although it'd probably be just like a much older crowd.
yeah, no offense. You guys know my mom's
Dude,
Bon Jovi
Ludacris
story.
played the Northwest Washington Fair, which is right by me. It's like in Linden, which is like 20 miles north of Bellingham. And I think it was just like a high school reunion for people my age. It was like all 40-ish year old people that went to this. And it was like the biggest thing that's happened in this town in like 10 years. Anyway, so that's kind of probably what Bon Jovi would be like, except for a little older. Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? You guys would still go.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd go.
What were the 80s like?
My mom's boss at work, his Bon Jovi married his daughter.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
And he couldn't get his name right. And he was like, such a nice kid. Don Hovey. Weird name. Nice kid though.
Oh, that's good.
So every time he comes up, it's just my face like, Don Bon Schmovey. Nice guy. All right, goodbye everyone.